Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Ortiz and I have a simple question for you. How many of you have a PhD? Some hands up? Okay, just a few. At the end of this talk, I'm going to ask the question again and maybe we are going to be seeing more people raising the hands. Have you wondered what skills are necessary to thrive in life? Maybe you have heard about the 7 habits of effective people. But what is really necessary? What if I tell you there's 3 big skills that you can use? Let me tell you about the weakest link. As the old saying goes, a chain is as strong as a weakest link. This term is very used for team members who are not performing well, right? But let's think a little bit out of the box. And what about if I ask you to consider yourself as the chain and look at your links as the set of skills and habits inside you? So what is your weakest link? What is your kryptonite? Maybe procrastination. Maybe you are always getting late to meetings. Should you be worried about this? No. Even if you are Superman, there's going to be always a kryptonite for you. The weakest link helps you to build a character, to define your silence. As Marcus Buckingham and Donald Clifton mentioned in the book, Now Discover Your Strengths, most of us fail to build our lives around our strengths and talents. What if I tell you PhD leader mindset will help you to focus in your strengths and become a self-leader? PhD leader stands for purposeful, humble, and determined. The basic concept behind the PhD leader is that it's going to be very difficult to succeed in life without a sense of direction and meaning. Without humility, eventually you are going to be running into hard reality. But also, remember, humility is going to help you to keep your feet on the ground and to grow. And without determination, any obstacles in life will lead you not to pursue what is really important for you. So, to be a PhD leader, you need to be seasoned in self-leadership. We all know about that leadership is about influence, right? But you need to look at the self-leadership as the ability to influence and direct your own thoughts and motivation to reach your goals and achieve a great performance. Great leaders share a defined pattern of attitudes and behaviors as self-awareness, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and most important, they keep learning, meanwhile they face difficulties along the way. I can keep talking the next 15 minutes for greatest leaders examples, but just to mention a few of them, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Henry Ford. So what is a PhD leader? Maybe you have a pretty good idea by now, right? But just to be clear, a PhD leader is someone who has a deep purpose or truly believes in something. They don't lose the ground and they never give up in their ideals or goals they have in mind. So let's review the characteristics of a PhD leader. P stands for purposeful. As in the book of Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, there's a phrase that it says, if you don't know where you are going, any road can take you there. And if you think about it, if you are going to start in the big journey, if you don't know where are you going, you're going to be eventually lost, right? It's the same here with your ideals and goals. If you don't have that clear, you don't know where you are going to head into. For me, one of the biggest leaders with a big purpose, it was Nelson Mandela. Just think about it. This person, he had the ideal that South Africa needed to have equality, right? He spent, eventually he got in jail and he spent 27 years of his life in prison. Once he get out, he kept fighting for what he believed in. 27 years believing in what he believed in, even that he was tied inside of the jail. So having purpose in life means having a sense of direction and meaning. This fills your mindset and helps you to achieve what really matters for you. The Harvard study of adult development analyzed 724 men across 75 years. This is one of the longest studies ever. And what they were trying to do is to track happiness, what makes people happy. And what they find out is that a strong relationship, to have people close to you, makes people happy. But also they found out that to have a strong sense of purpose will help you to thrive in life and also to recover from illness and to have a better health. Having purpose in life helps you with additional benefits of having a better mental health, larger resilience, and reduce health issue. But what about having a purpose in work? According to Gallup's 2023 State of the Global Workplace Report, only 23% of the people are engaged in their day-to-day activities. They feel a connection with what they are doing. Only 23%. What is concerning is about the other 77%. From this 77, only 18%, 18% are disengaged and constantly trying to find for a new job. Meanwhile, the remaining 59%, for me this is the worst, this is because there's almost 60%, right? This is the quiet quitters. These guys are only showing up to fill the seat, and they wait about 8 hours. They are doing the job without really an intention of doing that, and they're only wasting people's time and money of the company, right? These people, it's believed they can suffer more easily for burnout and stress because they don't have any connection or engagement with the company or with the team. That's why it's very important leaders create an alignment. Leaders should be on solemn duty to deliver the understanding why we are here. Simon Sinek, in his book, Start with a Why, explained this very easy through the concept of the golden circle. What, how, and why. He says there's a pattern between the great leaders and inspiring leaders and great organizations. All of them, they have the same foundation. They are truly believers in their why. Let me give you an example. Maybe you like to make cakes, and someone tell you, you're making the best cakes, you should be opening a bakery, and you are going to be making a ton of money. So you decided to go for that advice, you open the bakery, and let's analyze the situation. What is your what? This is pretty easy. The what is the result of what you are doing. You are making the cakes, and in order to get some money for that, right? What is your why? What you are doing, because someone told you that you make the best cakes, this is your how. You are making the cakes with the best quality, with the best ingredients, and eventually, if that's why people is telling you those are the best, right? And you don't have clear what is your why. That's why a lot of people fail in business and sometimes in life, because they don't have a clear path or where they want to go. Another characteristic of purpose leader is they challenge the status quo. Sometimes your idea is that great, that powerful, that you inspire others to follow you. And sometimes you can use a very innovative technology or actions, and maybe thinking outside the box ideas that you turn your idea in a disruptor of the market. Just to mention one example, Elon Musk, right? With the Tesla company, he disrupted the automotive market, and we are living now the electrification era. Another trait of the purpose leader is they don't underestimate the magnitude of complacency. They challenge the team, putting very aggressive goals just with the intention to remove excessive talk, signs of excess, and misleading information. Another trait of the purpose leader, they lead by the example. Action speaks louder than words. Leaders set the example through actions, behaviors, and attitudes, and this creates a ripple effect. Also boosts the morale, the productivity, and the success of the team. Let me tell you a personal history. Last month, we traveled to Spain, my family and myself, my wife and 3 children, to do something that is called the St. James Way. It's a pilgrimage in the middle of the mountains of Spain. It's tough, to be honest, and the weather conditions were terrible. It was raining. We did it about 6 days, and every day we walk from 12 to 30 miles. And the whole week, it was raining. In the middle, we have a lot of mud. It was super chilly, and sometimes we even got hail. The very first day, my wife and 3 children, they were ready to give up. They were complaining. They were saying why we are here, why we are doing that. They are completely done. And I said myself, you need to be the leader of this family. Well, I'm the leader of the family, hopefully. And I told myself, you cannot complain. You need to show your strength. And you are going to be doing this thing without complaining, without showing that you are tired. And that's exactly what I did. For my biggest surprise, the third day, my oldest kid, who is almost 10, he told me, Dad, I'm going to be walking the whole thing by myself today. I'm not going to be using the stroller to rest. I said, okay, go for yourself. And sometimes I saw the kid that he was pretty tired. I said, hey, sit down, you're so tired. He said, no, Dad, I'm committed to this. And he finished that day without complaining even a single time. My second big surprise, next day, my middle son, who is 8, told me exactly the same. Dad, I'm gonna be walking the whole thing, and the same result. He didn't even complain once. I feel so proud of my family, and this is only showing what I told you about leading by example, the ripple effect of that. Next, I'm going to talk about the age of the PhD leader, humility. What is to be humble? What is not? It's not showing weakness. It's not making yourself important. It's not showing submission, or even it's not lack of confidence. It's actual strength. It allows you to listen and learn from others. And also it helps to build empathy for your team. It helps you to give credit and recognition to the team members. And the main outcome of this is to foster trust and respect. One of the leaders for me that they really practice humility, it was Mahatma Gandhi. We all know that he led the Indian independence early in the 19th century. But do you know that he always put before him everyone? He always showed a very humble attitude of what he was doing. And obviously, he had a big purpose, right? So my question next is, can you move through the world the humble way? There's a joke that says that CEO stands for Chief Ego Officer. There's a study that shows that narcissism is a trait that is associated with this position. Unfortunately, this hurts leadership, right? There's a story of a University of Notre Dame that says that a humble leader experiences a double-edged sword. Some people, they find out this kind of leadership warm, sensitive, and nice. However, they also say that they perceive the leader as less competent, independent, and influential. Honestly, this double-edged sword thing doesn't bother me, and it shouldn't bother you as well. There's a study by Sanger Folkman that they did a 360-degree assessment, and they analyzed more than 700 leaders just to find out what is the perception of humility versus arrogance. They find out that the most effective leaders were those 66% who were humble versus 34% arrogant leaders. Some traits of the humble leaders are they admit their mistakes. They are always willing to continue learning because they know this is a unique opportunity to grow. Also, they help to build a culture of resilience and adaptability. They prepare the team for future challenges, and most important, they recognize I don't know something. I guess I don't know, no lo sé, is one of the biggest and hardest phrases in any language. To recognize that you don't know something is when you acknowledge ignorance, and that's when you open your mind to learn for new things. Another trait of the humble leader, they promote psychological safety. Psychological safety helps you to generate an environment of open communication, and also you help the team members to be open to share the ideas or to recognize mistakes. And this without any negative impact as repercussion, embarrassment, judgment, or punishment. Next time, I invite you that next time that you have a family member, your children, a colleague, or even an employee reaching you out to explain you they are in trouble and they made a mistake, instead of lecture them, instead of telling you what they did wrong, you ask them the question, what did you learn from this? Lastly, D stands for determination. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, determination is wanting to do something very much that you are not going to be allowing anyone or any circumstances to stop you. In a simple language, determination keeps you moving forward. Sometimes purpose and determination are alike and maybe people get confused with each other. For me personally, I believe a purpose is the spark, just that little spark that is going to be creating the idea, and determination is the fuel that you are going to use with that spark, and it's going to be igniting that big intention in you to do something. Have you experienced something so badly that you cannot stop thinking about that? Every time that I think about determination in business, I remember Henry Ford. Do you know that Henry Ford failed 5 times before creating the Ford Motor Company? Even he applied bankruptcy twice. But 100 years after that, his legacy is still with us. And especially for the Detroit area, this was a big accomplishment, right? We have automotive industry thanks to him. What is needed to overcome setbacks in life? The answer is resilience. In physics, this term is used for a term of the material recover from a deformation. In terms of people, is when you fail and you stand up, no matter how many times you are going to be doing this. It's not only about being tough, it's also adapting and preventing for future issues. Resilience leaders, they maintain emotional equilibrium. They tolerate ambiguity and adapt quickly. It also takes discipline and self-control. Have you experienced that motivation to start a new project, but suddenly that motivation starts fading away and that sparked emotion is no longer there? Roy Baumeister and John Tarney mentioned in their book, Willpower, Rediscovering the Greatest Human Strength, that every of us, we have a finite amount of willpower. That means that you have only some portion of will that eventually is going to be depleted. But also they explain this is like a muscle. Maybe you are trying to run a marathon. You are not going to be trying to run the 42 kilometers in one single time, right? You start little by little, because that little by little is going to be helping you to build a muscle, and eventually you're going to be having your body prepared for the whole thing. It's the same with the willpower. You start doing that little by little, and at the end, you are going to be having a lot of them. At closing, I want to tell you, leaders are made, not born. You can turn yourself into a sales leader following the PhD leadership principle. I invite you to analyze a role model, someone that you really admire, and to look at the traits that you admire for him or her. How many times have you felt that purpose, meaning to get out from your comfort zone and make to go for more? So, how many of you have a PhD leader in you? Thank you very much for your attention.